I'm not saying that I'm never ever going to pay for things. But while I'm dating and I'm being courted, I'm never ever going to pay for things. Period. Alright, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Dominique. I am a fashion brand founder by the name of Cash. And so on this channel, I take you through my journey of building a fashion clothing brand. And then I also give you dating chronicles just to talk you through how I'm navigating dating life. Y'all, if y'all see this groundhog run up on me, let me know. Let me know. Anyways, so today I'm gonna give you like a little story time of when I dated a bad bitch. And while I do that, we're gonna be productive. I need to repot or pot these plants, and I gotta do some more plant care in the house. But these plants I've been sitting on, and because of that, they're not doing well. And I don't want them to die on me. So we're going to be a responsible plant mother and take care of our plants today. But I want to also talk to you about the bad bitch that I dated. This one got a bunch of spider webs in it because I have not used it. But I want to put my pothos in here and put it in my office. So it'll be like it'll be a hanging plant. You feel me? So I met this guy on a dating app, Hinge, and you know, initially he wasn't like somebody that I was like super attracted to, and it was mostly because he didn't have a beard. Like, he didn't have nothing but like a little pencil mustache. So I was just like, you know, it's whatever. He seemed cool though in his profile, so I went with it. And we started talking, and come to find out, he was new to the city, like brand spanking new, first day type new. And so we started talking, and he said he was like 6'1", and I saw that he had like neck tattoos. So I was like, okay, there's some attraction there, right? So I entertained him, and we ended up hanging out pretty quickly. I'm not gonna lie. Probably by like the second or third day that we were talking. And when I see him in person, that man was fine, okay? He was fine. And I was very smitten with him. He was just so attractive. First of all, he was not 6'1", so that part was like a little bit annoying. I would give him 5'10", to be honest. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was not 6'1" for sure. But he had like a mouthful of gold, except for like these front ones. Everything else was gold. And he had like a button-up shirt, and all his skin was tatted. Like, you couldn't see skin. It was just tattoos on tattoos. So to me, like, that man was fine, okay? Fine. And we had a really, really good first date. We ended up going to this little restaurant, but we stayed there for 5 hours, y'all. Them waitresses was me mugging us, because we held up a table for 5 hours. And honestly, like, I was conscious about it. Like, I kept looking around to see if they were packed or full and like needed the table. They didn't, so they was all right. But we stayed until the restaurant closed up, and it was just like a really good conversation. Like, we just enjoyed each other, right? So then the next day he's like, hey, what you doing? You want to hang out? And for me, I'm like not a spur of the moment. I'm not very spontaneous. I ain't gonna lie. But I don't know. I was feeling it that day. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, let's meet up at this pool hall and, you know, shoot some pool or whatever. And so we get to the pool hall, and same thing. Like, we're just talking, talking, talking. We did not shoot any pool. We got the pool table, got the sticks, got drinks, and we just sat there for like another 4 or 5 hours just talking. So, anyways, I'm saying all that to say, like, he and I had some good chemistry and compatibility, and we liked each other. And so, that grew for a couple of weeks. He ended up starting his job, so of course, like, his availability changed. And then, he was working like a weird shift. And but we would talk every single day. That was still like our cadence. And we would FaceTime pretty much every day as well. It was a good time. He ended up moving into his apartment because, like, when he first moved here, he was staying with his aunt while he was waiting for his apartment to be ready. And so when he got his little apartment downtown in the city, he invited me over, and it was nice or whatever. He was still putting it together. But the point is, like, I really, really like this guy. So that first dinner date, he paid for it. It was maybe $50. Like, it wasn't much. The second quote unquote date or link up is when we went to the pool hall. All he did was buy us drinks. And I'm gonna be honest, it was a little awkward because, yeah, we were having a good time, and yeah, he bought us, like, I think he bought us 2 drinks. He bought us a drink and a shot. And then he was like, oh, let's go to the bar and get another shot. Like, the bar of the pool hall. And I was like, all right. We get to the bar, and he orders 1 shot. I'm like, 1, 2. Nigga, there's 2 of us. And he's like, oh, I think she misheard me. We can just share this one. Share the drink or whatever. It wasn't a shot, sorry. It was a drink. And I was like, okay. But he ended up letting me, like, drink it first because I was like, I don't know where your lips been. And I'm just not that free. You know what I'm saying? Apparently he is, because he drank after me. So it was like, whatever, cool. But also, too, like, when we get to the bar, there's only 1 seat available, and he takes that seat. And initially, he was only going to order a drink. Like, we weren't supposed to be just sitting at the bar. He was just going to order a drink. But he ended up sitting down. So I, like, stood behind him, which I didn't love that, right? But it was like, okay. There was a guy sitting next to him. That guy gave up his seat for me. So now, the bad bitch, we're just gonna call him the bad bitch, he was like, oh, dang, that was my mess up. I should have let you sit down. And I was like, and he was like, dang. And I could tell bro was, like, sizing me up and this and that. And I was like, maybe, but I think he just more so did the polite thing to do, which was give up your seat for a woman. I don't know who raised you, but yeah. So then, anyways, that was date 2. Date 3, we ended up going to this restaurant called House of Creole down here, or up here in Columbus. And it was cool or whatever. It was a nice little date. So we at this restaurant, and basically I suggested that we order a couple of appetizers because it was our first time. It was both of our first times at this restaurant, and there were, like, so many different things that looked good that we both wanted to try. So I suggested that we just order a few different appetizers and share, you know what I'm saying? Shared appetizers. So he seemed to be pretty pleased with that. But my point of mentioning that is, it was another cheap date. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a cheap date. I think he might have spent $75 at best on that date, at the most, and that's including the tip. This is relevant to the story, by the way. It's not that I expect men to spend a whole lot of money on me, but it's just relevant to this story and why he's a bad bitch. So that was the third day. All right, cool, whatever. And then we like end up hanging out a couple of times at his house, just like chilling. He had him and talking, because that man can talk. Okay, he can talk too much. So we had several dates or just times that we were like hanging out or whatever. So I would say, all in all, or we had about 5 or 6 hangouts, link ups. There was something he had said or did at the pool hall bar that left me feeling like, was he expecting me to get the shot? You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, I don't know, maybe I'm tripping. There was something he was doing or saying that was giving me the impression that he was thinking I should pay for stuff. And so at his house one day, at his apartment one day, I just asked him flat out, like, you know, do you think that I should be paying for things? Like, I should pay for the next date, or do you think that I should offer to pay? Or, you know, do you expect the woman to offer to pay, or something along those lines? He gonna be like, I mean, I wouldn't say no if you did. And to be honest, that turned me off again. I was like, ugh. Mind you, I'm like smitten with this dude because he's cool, he's funny, he's smart, and he's sexy. You know, he don't look the way he speaks and thinks. He's like the perfect combination of, like, you know, down to earth thug kind of look, but then also he buttoned up. You know what I'm saying? With all the tats, the goals, like, boy was fine. He was fine. But now he's like starting to do things that are turning me off. So as a part, when I asked him that, he was like, I mean, I wouldn't say no. And he's like smiling about it. And I'm thinking, nigga, well, don't count on it. And I did more than think. I told him, I was like, oh, you know what? Honestly, it doesn't even cross my mind. Like, it's not a thought to me to offer to pay. And he was like, oh, okay. I was like, yeah. So, like, just so we're clear, don't hold your breath. After the third date at the restaurant, I followed Anwar's advice. If you don't listen to Anwar White, he's a dating coach for Black and brown professional women. And I like to watch him because he be dropping some gems, plus he's funny. So anyways, he says that obviously don't ever pay for a date, but by like the third date, have like a little gift. You know what I'm saying, that you give the guy that costs a couple of dollars, like no more than $20. And so I was like, all right, let me do something for him. And because he had just moved, he didn't have like much of anything in his apartment. So every time I went over there, he didn't have water. You know what I'm saying? He was always hungry because like just the way he was working, he wasn't going grocery shopping and stuff. So anyways, I have remembered that he said he likes donuts a lot, and the kind of donuts that he liked. And so I went to the store. I bought him some donuts, I bought him some fruit, and I bought him some water, like a case of water. Again, cost me about $20-$25. Nothing too much. To me, it wasn't about the price. It was just like, this was an act of service, you know, whatever. And he was very grateful for it. He seemed to be very grateful, you know. He was a big smile on his face. He said, thank you, nobody's ever been so thoughtful to me. So I'm thinking, okay, we did good. So we ended up hanging out again at his apartment. Because it's downtown and it's like a full apartment complex, they have common areas where they have like games and things like that the residents can utilize. And so we went up to one of the common areas where there was like a pool table, there were like board games, and then they had like a little mini fridge of like drinks and snacks for free for the residents. So we get up there, and this man goes into the fridge. He goes into the fridge and pulls himself out a drink. Doesn't even offer me a drink. And so luckily, like, I had water in my purse. Like, I stay with water. So, but to me, I was like, and he pulled himself out as a little snack bar. Did not offer me nada. So I was like turned off, you know what I'm saying, by that. And, you know, I was thinking like, okay, maybe because he's been single for a while, like it just doesn't come second nature for him to be considerate. But either which way, like I just was taken aback by it and I was turned off. But you know, I still kind of gave him some grace because I was like, maybe, like I need more of this behavior for me to put a stamp on it that, yeah, he's just inconsiderate. So I gave him a pass, essentially. But it was like something I noted in the back of my mind. Next time we, though, hung out, again, I was meeting my family up at this bar. And, you know, he wants to go out too. He's new to the city. Like, that was big to him. Like, he wanted to always just be out and about and going out. So I was telling him, well, you can meet me up at this little bar slash like club thing that I'm gonna be at with my family. He's like, all right, cool. He comes in. I've already had like 2 shots at this point, so I'm cooling, right? He orders us a shot. Mind you, it's the bar. It's loud. There's music. There's people. I'm already 2-3 shots in, maybe 3-4 shots in, to be honest. So we're like right next to each other. And, you know, we were pretty affectionate with each other. So, like, he would have his hand on my back and rubbing my back, or I would have my arm around his shoulder and, like, whispering into his ear. You know, he would kiss my neck, da-da-da. So that was kind of just to paint a picture of, like, how we were at the bar. He's right up on me. He's standing up. I'm sitting down. It's only seat. So he did good that time, right? Like, he learned his lesson, I suppose, because he really didn't like that man had offered me his seat, because it made him look foolish. You know what I'm saying? It made him look like a dud. So he's like, "Are you gonna order us a drink, or are you gonna order some shots?" And I was like, "No. Why would I do that?" And he was like, "What do you mean?" And I was like, "I'm a woman. Like, nigga, what did you not understand in here?" So, and you know what? Honestly, if there's men out there that's watching this video, again, this video is not for you. None of my videos are for you, sir. So, exit stage left. But if you're here, I'm not saying that I'm never ever going to pay for things. But while I'm dating and I'm being courted, I'm never ever going to pay for things. Period. When we get into a relationship, that's a different scenario. I love spoiling my man. But we got to get there. So I was like, no, like, why would I do that? What do you mean? What do you mean? I'm a woman. And so I could tell in that moment, he was like, he kind of like shut down. And me, I'm lit. Like, I'm tipsy. I notice it, but I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I don't care enough to address it. So then this girl comes up behind me, and she's like talking to me. I don't know the girl, but she's like, "Oh, do you mind? Could you order us a drink? Can you order us some shots? You know, could you get the bartender's attention and order us some shots? I'll give you my card." And I was like, "For sure, girl, I got you." And so did that, ordered the shots. And she was like, "You can get you and your friend a shot too." So I was like, "All right, bet." She gives me her card. Mind you, the bad bitch still standing next to me. I don't know how much he's paying attention, because again, I'm tipsy. I'm barely paying attention. So I have her card in my hand for a little minute until the bartender has time to come by. And then I order the shots and I give them the card. And then after they give me the card back, I give it back to the girl. They come out with the shots. I pass the shot to him. Get myself a shot. Boom. Then she's asking me shortly after that, like minutes later, she's like, "Can I do it again?" Sure, why not? I'm at the bar, you know what I'm saying? So she orders around, you know, just off GP. I make sure I get me and him a shot as well. So at this point, he's gotten 2 shots off the strength of me. I ain't paying for them, but I still provided 2 shots, essentially, right? So it comes out, I don't remember how or what he said. He thought I had paid for the shots myself. mind you, this is right after I told him, why would I do that? And so I had to make it clear to him. I was like, I didn't pay for that. I said, the girl gave me her card. I was like, I don't even, I don't know her. Which, to his credit, it did look like I know her. Like, girl pulled on her phone. She wanted to take selfies with me. We were talking. She was telling me about her friend's business. Like, she probably was drunk too. So it did look like we were cool, like friends or whatever. So he was like, oh, I thought that was your homegirl. I thought she ordered y'all shots. I was like, no, I don't know that girl. And she bought those drinks. He was like, oh. And that was the last time we hung out. It wasn't necessarily the last time we talked, but we only talked like one more time after that, and it was a done dilly. But at the end of the day, like, bro, I'm not paying for dates. That's, if girls are doing that these days, then more power to them. I'm not that girl. I'm not paying for dates while you're courting me. You're dating me. You're asking me out. I'm not asking you out. If I was to ask you out, it would be for us to spend time together. I'm not going to ask you out and be like, yeah, take me to this nice restaurant that I've been wanting to go to. No, I wouldn't do that. But also, I'm not paying for nothing. I'm sorry. And whoever like got a problem with it, that's your problem. Because I'm good with it and it works for me. And if I have to miss out on a bad bitch every now and again, then that's cool with me, because that's exactly how I viewed him after that. Like, bro, you want me to take you out? I'm confused, because you acting like a bad bitch at this point. I'm not doing that, bro. You got the wrong one. He came from Dallas, where he was like, oh, all the girls down there are superficial and they want men with money and da da da. And I got the impression that he had like some low-key dating trauma from that experience. And it seemed like he was like on edge and just wanting to make sure that he wasn't, dealing with women that were similar, like who just wanted a baller, wanted a guy to spend money on them, and whatever. It was what it was, and it was no love lost for me, because obviously I'm dating around, so it was like one monkey ain't gonna stop the circus, you know what I'm saying? So the show went on. We didn't talk anymore, and it could have been on both of our ends. I know for me, like, I was turned off that he kept insinuating and then flat out asking for me to pay for shit. And then for him, it probably was a turn off that I wasn't willing to do that. Nope, and ain't. So yeah, anywho, I hope y'all enjoyed that little story time of when I dated a bad bitch and I didn't like it and won't do it again. I'm gonna finish this up, and then I'm gonna probably holla at y'all in the next video, okay?